In this tutorial, we're going to give you an overview of the Medication Administrative Record and the Medication Administrative Wizard, better known as the Mar and the Maw. We're going to go over medication administration and follow-up response, administering IV solutions, and medication events and tasks. So we're going to start by logging in with your username and password. We're going to establish a relationship with this patient first. And from the Care Compass, I can launch right into my Mar. So here you can see the medication administrative record. You can see the times across the top. On the left-hand side, you can click on this, and it's going to show you your most overdue tasks. You're going to have a view on the left-hand side with all your medications. You can look at scheduled, PRN, and all your discontinued ones will be at the bottom. You have different views that you can use. And on the left-hand side here, there's a little time view, so you can schedule by time. At the bottom, you have another category that is Therapeutic Class. You can look at them based on the type of patients that they are, cardiovascular, and they're outlined. They have central nervous system agents. We have hormone modifiers and nutritional products, which would be some of your IVs. We can also filter them out based on your route, IV, IV push, or oral. We can deselect and filter out or have all of them show up. They can also be filtered out based on their power plan that they were ordered under. Lasix was ordered under the cardiovascular admission power plan. There's also one called a taper view, and you can see prednisone when it's ordered as a tapering dose, and it will show up under your taper view. All your meds that need to be given will show up in blue, red are your overdue, and green are your PRN medications. You can see that this medication is due. And the way that we're going to give the medication is we're going to use our medication administration wizard. And you can see it right up here. I'm going to launch right into it. And this is where you'd scan the patient's wristband. And for this purpose, we don't have a scanner. I'm just going to click next. It's going to warn you that you haven't scanned. So here's a list of the medications. We're going to enlarge this and make it a little easier to see. You can see all the medications that are there. The Lasix was due at 4 o'clock, so it's overdue, and you can see it by the little time clock. And I'd scan this medication right here. For the purpose of the video, we're not going to have a scanner, and I'm just going to click on this medication. It'll just tell me just to continue. So you can see the reason why this is being documented. You just choose the reason why it's late. And this is an IV medication. It's the IV infiltrated, so I have no IV access at the time, and so that's why it's late. I can even make a comment here. That's an option. The little X here, this is where you'd click, and it'll open up your charting. When it's an IV medication, it's going to request that you click where the IV is. We're just going to say it's in the left hand. If it's yellow, it is a required field, and you do need to fill that out. It won't let you continue if you don't. Go ahead and click OK. I'm going to assign this medication that I gave it. You can see that the medication is now showing up as complete, and I can refresh the screen. It's going to show that at 8:42 this medication was given. If I choose to give a PRN medication, it's going to require a follow-up such as a pain medication. And you can see I have morphine right here. It tells you the last dose that was given, and it'll open up that field and show you that it was given by IV push, and it shows who gave it and where. If I choose to give this medication again, I'm going to scan the patient. I'm going to go into Medication Administrative Wizard and scan my patient's wristband. And I'm going to choose my morphine. Again, I have the X. That means there's a required field. I'm going to open that up. And here it wants you to give a pain intensity level. So I'm going to say their pain level is an 8. Again, it requires a site. So I'm going to give it in the right IJ. And I'm going to click OK. There's a blue check mark now. So my required fields are filled out, and I'm going to sign this. So what this is going to do is it's going to show you right here the pain level was an 8, and I gave 4 milligrams. I'm going to refresh this. You can hang your IV bags from here. You can see the last bag when it was hung from the maintenance. Well, now, if I want to hang another one, I'm going to launch into my Medication Administrative Wizard. I'm going to scan my patient. And I'm going to hang a new bag of D5. I'm going to sign this. And it tells me that it's already infusing through the right IJ, and I'm going to sign this. And it's going to show that it is completed. So you can see that I just began and started a new bag. The morphine that was given, it's already triggered a PRN response to rechart or chart a pain reassessment within the next hour. When the IV drip gets hung, you can see if we look into our INO, you can see the IV bag itself. Some detailed information there as well. We're going to go back to the Mar. If you hover over the IV bag, you can see some details, and this is also a way that you can start a bag. If I was to give a bolus from this bag of D5NS, this is bag number 2 that is hanging, and I want to give a bolus. I can say I'm going to give a 250 ml bolus. I'm going to say apply. It's going to tell me that I'm giving this bolus, and I'm going to sign. And then I'm going to refresh my screen. And you can see a 250 ml bolus was given. Now I'm going to reassess my patient's pain. So I'm going to click on my PRN response, and it's going to take me to pain charting. So I can just pick where the pain is. And I'm going to assign. And that's going to complete my pain reassessment. And then I'm going to refresh that information. And then we're going to scroll back up. And you can see right there. This is another way to look at some information about the medication, is that you can click on it. If I decide not to give this medication, I can click Not Given. And I'm going to give a reason up here. I'm going to just say that the heart rate is at 43. So the reason I'm not giving it is because it's bradycardia. And I'm going to assign this. And then I'm going to need to refresh this information. It's going to show me that this medication was not given, and it gives me a reason why. So if I right-click on the medication itself, I can also get some information here. You can look at the order information. This gives you some details. So we can see what medications were given, what's in there. This also gives you an event task summary. If you click on this, it's going to show you the timeline, shows you the medication and when it was given, gives you some details down here. It'll highlight in red if it's overdue or when it was given. We can also get a reference for this medication. If we're wondering about the medication itself, you can also access an education leaflet here if you wanted to get some information for the patient. If you need something from the pharmacy for some reason, a medication request, maybe you dropped the vial and it broke, and you can't get it out of the Pyxis, or maybe you're giving an extra dose, you can do that right here, and it'll send a message to the pharmacy. If you were to give, perhaps, an extra dose, you might get a warning, early administration. You can say yes, and then you're going to give a reason why you're giving it. An override reason, and it might be maybe the physician ordered an extra dose, and we just choose that reason. If you want, you can also type in a note here in this free text area. There's also medications. If I was to launch into my medication administrative wizard, and I'm going to choose that right there. I'm going to open it up in here, and we can put in the blood pressure. So if their blood pressure was maybe 140 over 65, just so that the heart rate perhaps might be below the parameters that are set, you might want to put this information in as why you held the medication, and you're going to sign it. You're going to refresh your screen, and you can see that all my documentation is here, my blood pressure and my heart rate.